Sometimes regular is good.
Every now and then, the game changes.
Super sizes are back.
Turn to absolute confidence.
We seem to live in a world where virtually every single company is trying to upsell you on premium packages or upgrades full of flashy features that may be captivating to the eye, but most of the time don't offer much compared to the regular option.
Where's the beef?
And this sentiment couldn't be better exemplified than with Samsung's new Galaxy S24 and S24 Plus. With the company aggressively marketing the Ultra to would-be buyers, a phone that looks and feels like it's in a completely different league, it's not exactly surprising why the more subdued plain Jane S24 and S24 Plus are almost white noise in comparison. But if you're able to cut through the blitz campaign that Samsung is waging here and have a moment of clarity, you'll come to the realization that the non-Ultra Galaxy phones share the vast majority of features that the Ultra boasts, at price points that won't make you hate yourself when your credit card payment is due. Hey, it's Jason. I've been using the Galaxy S24 and the S24 Plus for a little bit over 2 weeks now, side by side with the way more expensive S24 Ultra, and bro, we need to talk. So the biggest and definitely the most notable difference between these phones is going to be their physical design. The S24 and the S24 Plus have a significantly more subdued approach to aesthetics, illustrated by the very tame rounded corners, the edge-to-edge screen, a floating camera design, and very minimal branding. They offer two sizes between the regular and the Plus, both catering to a wide variety of hands that will no doubt find these quite comfortable to hold and use, even for extended periods of time. Now compare that to the behemoth that is the S24 Ultra, and it's completely on the other end of the spectrum. With its pointy sharp corners and unapologetic monstrous size and now titanium frame, you'd be forgiven if you think the regular S24s look kind of lame in comparison. But low-key, Samsung made some really good modifications to these phones this year, starting with the now flattened out frame that mirrors the look of another rival device that won't be named. It has a nice brush finish that's color matched with the nicely executed colors on the non-polished matte back, making for a very mature integrated look and feel. Now, I've always felt as though the lack of a camera housing made the Galaxy phones look kind of boring, but with the refinement this year, I feel as though the S24 and the S24 Plus kind of have the ultimate premium look. They're not flashy or loud, but they're undeniably well put together devices that are totally worthy of their flagship designations. And I would argue that the S24 and the S24 Plus are actually better than the Ultra in terms of utility and comfort. These phones are so much easier to use compared to the bulky and downright cumbersome form factor of the S24 Ultra. Now, Samsung also made some small but important changes to the front of their new phones as well. Flip it over and you'll see that much like the Ultras, both the S24 and the S24 Plus have completely flat displays, again, really making the regular versions of this phone have a modern look. You get a beautifully symmetrically bezel around the screen with a minimal hole punch cutout for the front-facing camera, and this is Samsung, so you know the panel here is going to be great. Both are rocking LTPO AMOLED displays that look outstanding as content comes off vibrant and sharp, especially when you're viewing HDR content. Now, a slight difference between the S24 and the S24 Plus is going to be their resolution. The smaller variant comes in at a max Full HD Plus resolution, while the Plus now gets a bump up to Quad HD. Now, can you tell the difference? No, not really, especially in day-to-day use, but it is nice to see that the Plus gets a nicer panel this year, and important fact, it's the same resolution as what's on the S24 Ultra. Not only that, both the S24 and the S24 Plus have the same 120Hz variable refresh rate as the Ultras, giving you the same silky smooth UI navigation experience, as well as the new searingly bright 2600 nits of peak brightness that is near blinding, as well as the same super fast ultrasonic in-display fingerprint reader that works really well. Now, I'm just going to address this now because I know some of you may already be typing in the comments, Jason, you don't get an S Pen with the S24 and the S24 Plus. That's a huge difference, and I'd agree with you, it is a big difference. But I'd counter by saying that it is a big difference that most people never really use. I've used the Galaxy Ultra and even the Note that came before it for years, and though I do have a lot of respect and praise for the S Pen in terms of what it can do and how it performs, I almost never actually use it. And for the 2% of you that do, hey, go ahead, get the Ultra and be happy with your purchase. For the rest of us, don't let the marketing of the S Pen make you think that you're actually going to use it. Okay then, what about the processors? They gotta be more beefed up on the Ultra, right? Nope, the boring old S24 and the S24 Plus are also equipped with Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, the most powerful non-Apple chip in any phone right now, so the performance here is stellar. And before you ask, yes, the regular S24s also have access to to the same powerful AI features that the Ultra has, and they're just as easily accessible. So you get the handy circle to search capability by just holding down at the bar at the bottom of the screen and circling whatever you want to do an instant Google search. You also get all of the photo editing AI hacks as well that allows you to erase things out of your image or resize components to make a completely modified AI picture just like the Ultra. Samsung went pretty ham this year with AI. Whether or not these features are something you'll regularly use is not important. What is important is that all of them are available on the regular S24 and the S24 Plus. Okay, if none of these things are really different, then it must be the cameras that sets the Ultra apart. Yes, it has that crazy 200 megapixel sensor. That must make a massive difference, right? Now, it is true that the cameras are actually different on the Ultra. Yes, it does have a 200 megapixel main sensor, while the regular S24s have a 50 megapixel main shooter. They both have 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom cameras and a 12 megapixel ultra wide, but the Ultra has one additional camera on the rear, a new 50 megapixel 5x telephoto zoom. So I'll give it to the Ultra. It does have more focal lengths to work with, and a 5x zoom is nice, but I think what most people care about is the actual image quality. And despite the differences here, when looking at the pictures themselves, they're actually pretty similar. And that's great because the image quality here is excellent, very sharp, and both have Samsung's color signature that boosts up the saturation a bit, but notably nothing here that I would say makes the pictures from the Ultra noticeably better. Now, what about video? Surely the Ultra could take better video than the regular S24s given its big sensor, right? Actually, no, all the S24s can take advantage of the ludicrous 8K video recording and 4K at up to 60 frames per second, and again, the quality here is near identical. So I think you're starting to get my point here, and look, I don't want to make it seem like I'm bashing on the S24 Ultra. I like the Ultra, and if I had a choice between these three and cost was not a factor, I'd get the Ultra. But here are the prices for each of these phones, and dude, the delta between the regular S24 and the S24 Ultra is a whopping $500 now. This is quite a premium over a phone that does a lot of what the Ultra can do. And let's just be real here for a second, most of the differences are cosmetic in nature. Yes, you do get a better build material and a larger form factor with the Ultra, but I'd argue that the regular and definitely the S24 Plus gives you more than enough screen real estate that you would need, and most of us put cases on our phones the second we get them, so just how important is a titanium frame? Again, it's not to throw shade at the Ultra, it's a phenomenal phone that is a joy to look at and use, but I feel as though more than ever, 2024 is gonna be the year in which people seek out the most value out of their mobile devices, and in that regard, the S24 and the S24 Plus are no-brainer buys over the Ultra. But hey, that's just me, and I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the regular S24s? Do you think they're the smarter choices like me? Or are you gladly forking over the extra dough for the Ultra? Curious to get your thoughts, let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. And in case you guys missed the review of the Galaxy S24 Ultra, check out these videos here, they're gonna help you be as informed as possible.